Fernando Mammoliti. I'm 60 years old as of last week, so I've been doing this for a while. I'm pretty much my entire work career has been devoted to Ciot and the industry that I participate in. So I guess my original role was sales. I met Joe from Montreal in 1988, and he was interested in opening up in Toronto, and we basically started off just selling. You know, I did what I did just naturally. You know, I had resources, or I had access to a wealth of material from Montreal, and I just started knocking on doors, and everywhere I knocked, I seemed to be able to have some success. And it was one truckload after another truckload until Joe called me and said, hey, I think maybe we should look for some land in Toronto and build a building. So I became a salesman slash builder, and we built this building in 1989, I think. So it was hard to say what my title was because I was just pretty much doing everything. And that evolved and grew, and we started doing distribution in Toronto, and that eventually led to opening our first retail store, which was down in the Lawrence area. And then from there, another retail location here, where we sit now, and then eventually Mississauga. And so it became a distribution slash retail business. And then along the way, we introduced quartz into the business, and I became the CEO of Caesarstone, and I ran Ciot at the same time. So it was just sort of a natural evolution. It was never really, here's your position. You know, I never really cared so much about positions. I just kind of did what I did best. And I guess almost, I don't know how many years later, but many, many years later, we have 3 locations in Toronto. Along the way, we opened in Detroit. We opened then in Atlanta, and eventually in New York. So I kind of oversee everything that I participated in opening up. And along the way, we built a very interesting and strong team. We're almost 120 people, I think, in Toronto now. So today, my position is Chief Business Development Officer, which kind of suits me fine because it sort of allows me to do the things that I like to do. And that's develop the business, look for new opportunities, use all my relationships that I built over the years to sort of help grow the business even more. It's a couple things, I guess. Number one, I'm able to recognize maybe products or colors, or, you know, I'm not a designer, but I understand trends. I can see when things are coming. So, you know, I'll go to a booth in Italy, for example, and they'll have all of their material on display, but they'll have maybe a sample in the corner, and I'll be like, you know, what's that, right? Oh, we're working on a new quarry. I said, well, you know what, move away from all this stuff and go to that, because that's your future. So I have a lot of quarry people all over the world that when they see me, they're always grateful. Hey, you pointed us in the right direction, or you helped us, even if, it happened many, many times. And that's part of the success. So being ahead of maybe the curve. And then I guess, building a team, whether it's designing a showroom or a sales team or a piece of art. I did an amazing project with an artist from Montreal, Sticky Peaches. I think you might be familiar with him. And part of my contribution was being part of the team to give them the opportunity to accomplish, you know, what they wanted to. And they were in awe. You know, I took them to Carrara. We found the right block for the project. Eventually, we found the right way of making it, and it all sort of came together. So, and the results are going to be presented in a few months from now. So that's an example of. And I'm pretty good at identifying talent, or people that have that magical ability to maybe help transform either what I'm trying to accomplish or the company, or just to help them. Sometimes I see people that need a little bit of help. Hey, you know what? Forget about that. I try to push them. So I do mentor some people, and that gives me, I think, more satisfaction, or as much satisfaction as what they're getting out of it. Like for me, if I can help somebody, identify their talents or push them along, then this is more valuable than money most of the time. It was just, my first job in sales was selling shoes. And yeah, I worked at Brown's Shoes, and I used to go every Saturday, and there were all the full-timers there. And they used to keep track, of everybody's sales during the day, and I would always be checking that paper because I needed to be number one, no matter what. There were all the full-timers would get upset, give us the sale because you don't get commission. I said, well, yeah, whatever, but I was good at it. And it's not like I even said to myself, hey, sales is my thing. It just kind of happened naturally. And then just pure chance, I was approached by somebody to join a tile company. It was a company called Fernando. 1987, I think I was like 20 years old. And I was it was easy for me, it's just I would visit designers, architects, and I was just getting all kinds of projects. I did a couple of shopping malls. And then I met Joe, like I said, and it just kind of evolved. So if it wasn't tile, maybe it would have been something else, but I'm glad it was tile because there's not too many careers that can enable you to travel the world, because this is my other satisfaction in life, is traveling and visiting different parts and meeting people. So, I can't think of another one that would take you to Brazil, China, Vietnam, Spain, Italy, wherever, and be able to do what you do and make your living. So this is big. And I encourage all young people. My youngest daughter's been to Japan, she's been to Vietnam. Whenever she says I'm going, I said, God bless you. That's where you're gonna get a lot of satisfaction out of life. Maybe the way I was able to identify, Joe was able to identify it, because maybe I was the right guy for him. Because maybe where he wasn't as strong, meaning developing, finding future potential, understanding the market, understanding maybe materials or trends, he's really good on the business side. So I've always had the ability to not have to worry so much about the banks and that side of the business, and I worried more about what I was good at. So that's why we were maybe such a good team. As the years went on, when the company starts to grow, you start to forget about maybe what it was that got you to where you were, and this can be a problem. When all you worry about is budgets and return on investment and stuff like that, you start to doubt yourself. It's like an athlete starting to doubt themselves, so they take less risk, or they take less, they start to play it safe. And when you start playing it safe, it can be a problem. And it catches up with you. I mean, momentum is good. It takes you to a certain level, but eventually you start noticing that, hey, there's enough people pecking at us that we better start to worry about it. And this leads to one of the things that we're considering, but we've decided, like, this particular location is a bit outside of the city, and a lot of our competitors have strategically placed themselves in between us and the design community. So I suggested a little while ago, I think we better start to look for another location. And slowly we looked at many, and I wasn't really happy with any of them, even though the rest of the group was ready to go. I said, no, it's still not right. And we stumbled upon a 60,000 square foot building right in, not the heart of the city, but right in the design area of the city. And we pulled the trigger. So this is gonna help us to get back to where we were strategically, location-wise, material-wise. It's not just a move. I think it's also a statement. It's a statement to the rest of the industry in Toronto that, you know what, we're here to stay. We're not going anywhere. And if you would like to consider challenging us, by all means, you can keep doing it, and we'll support you. But it's something that the company needed to do, and we identified to do it, and that's one of our next steps, which I think is very important for us. So, there's a lot of things, whether it's material, whether it's people, whether it's location, whether it's working with the right design community. I think, if you can put all those together, and that's hopefully what we're going to do in this new location, and maybe even reinvent the way material is selected, because it's not always easy, but there are ways to do it. So we're always thinking about how can we do it differently. Maybe we might put a restaurant there, maybe we may have a concierge, maybe we'll have space for designers to entertain their clients or a whole host events. So we're trying to understand what the next step could be.